So what does God prefer? Somebody that is very considerate, very kind, never hurts people's feelings, or somebody that is aggressive, somewhat audacious, and at times absolutely hurts people's feelings in the pursuit of doing what they believe is the right thing? Well, when the Pharisees accuse Jesus of being the prince of demons, they call him Beelzebul, what he says back to him is that you guys are sons of Satan. And that is a pretty strong insult. That's not the worst thing that Jesus says about somebody. So where is the maybe harshest word said to anybody? Well, that's going to be Peter, because nobody is called a worse thing than Peter. Jesus says to him, "Get behind me, Satan." And yet even after this, Jesus' final words in John 21 were to remind Peter to feed his lambs, to take care of his sheep, to feed his sheep, to make sure that he takes care of the flock. And so how is it that Jesus can so harshly rebuke Peter and at the same time he entrusts him to do these great things? Well, Peter was audacious and he was constantly forward leaning in what he thought was best. At times he would overspeak and he would be more aggressive than maybe somebody thought he should be. And Jesus doesn't stifle that. He doesn't say, "Don't be so audacious." He just checks him when he needs to be checked. And so Jesus isn't looking for a passive person. He would rather have a man that is willing to, in the pursuit of impact, do things that at times are going to be the wrong thing. He would rather us chase after it than simply live a life of avoiding all risk and mistakes. And so why is that? Well, a farmer is going to have a more fruitful animal in a mule when the mule is one in which they have to pull back because they're overly aggressive than they would a mule they have to push forward. And so you're supposed to make your impact on the world. You're made in the image of God, and you're supposed to show what that looks like to the world through our faith and our pursuit, this aggressiveness. One thing to remember, though, is understand in this process that at times you're going to need to be shaped and molded, and you're going to have to stay humble for that. And you're going to have to always be aware that in this aggressive pursuit, there will be missteps. And in those times, God will carve back your character, pay attention to what the Spirit shows you. And just as Jesus told Peter, when you've turned back, as in when Peter was called to be sifted by Satan, Jesus says to him that when you get done being sifted, turn back and strengthen your brothers. And the same thing is true for us. Be audacious, make a big impact in the world, and expect that you're going to make mistakes. And Jesus is okay with that. That's why he laid out this grace for us. So go make your impact in the world. Be willing to hurt feelings in the pursuit of trying to do the right thing. And if you're curious, how do I do that? If you're looking for a group of audacious men and some different patterns of behavior that will help you to make that big impact, DM me and we'll talk about it. Talk to you tomorrow.